Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss how the momentum continues to grow for the possibility of Stu Macher returning to the Scream franchise, and more pointedly, to be back in Scream 6. Let's do it. Now, for those who may not remember, the company Creepy Duck Design, also known as Creepy Duck Art, made this Scream 5 poster that Paramount sanctioned and used in their marketing campaign for the movie. And I thought that this was a fantastic poster when it came out, and it's still one of my most favorites for the movie. Just a menacing ghost face, and you're driving into the mouth of madness, essentially. And I just think it's absolutely great. So that same company, which is Creepy Duck Design, they tweeted this out on their Twitter account yesterday. The tweet says, "Although not officially announced yet, I'm sure another #Scream film will be greenlit. If it's going extra meta, it could be Scream 2. Also, I'm not saying Stu survived in 96 and should come back, but actually, yes, I am. #horror, #digital artwork, #bring back Stu." And they're absolutely right to say that Stu is alive. I mean, Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson both had Stu surviving the events of Scream 96, and they had an entire script greenlit for Scream 3 where Stu was the mastermind behind the killings, and that they had to shelve that idea because of the Columbine tragedy, which was a terrible thing, and it caused them to have to rewrite the film. And of course, Kevin could not write the movie because he was connected to other projects, and so Wes and Aaron Kruger rewrote a new Scream 3. This is well documented, and Wes Craven himself spoke about it. So we know from Wes's own words that Stu did survive the events of Scream 96. It's on record. It's like there's really not even a debate about it. So I could go even further into detail about this here, but there's just not enough time. So if you'd like to know more about my case for Stu, if you will, I have a video on the channel that is titled The Case for Stu. And after this video is over, I would encourage you to go check it out. And I have a lot more detail about that. But that's, in a nutshell, the scenario of Stu in the past. And so that brings us to the current present. We know that in Scream 5, Radio Silence has brought Kirby back. And we know Wes Craven had said that she lived. That was his position. They honored that. So knowing the history with Wes Craven in the film, they know also that, like we do, that Stu is alive, that Wes Craven had him living and surviving. So I'm hoping that Matt and Tyler and Guy and James will honor Wes Craven's canon of Stu being alive, and that we will see him back in the film. All right, so let's get back to the tweet here by Creepy Duck Design or Creepy Duck Art. Attached to this tweet was this poster that they created for Scream 6, or as they said, the extra meta Scream 2. Now this poster features Stu Macher behind the ghost face mask. And if you look real close and enlarge the image, you can see this. Here we see Stu's right eye with the scars below and above his eye from the infamous television damage that happened to his face. And after 25 years, I imagine his face will have healed quite a bit with scars, and also from the plastic surgery that probably would have taken place once he was physically healed enough to have that surgery done. So these scars and facial marks, they make complete sense and would be expected to be there. So they did a great job of highlighting that here in a subtle way in the poster. Now, I do just love this poster. I think it's great. And while I know it's a concept poster for Scream 6, I do know it's a concept poster, but the fact that it was done by the amazing Creepy Duck Art is so cool. And you never know, they may have some inside little friendly information about what may be on the table regarding Stu for Scream 6, and they're just wanting to help drive that Stu Returns train, which is on the tracks and it is moving as stronger and faster than ever. All right. And I love seeing how much momentum is being gained around the idea of Stu possibly returning in Scream 6 or Scream 7. Now, there are so many ways you could bring Stu back if you really think about it. I mean, we've already seen Billy return as an hallucination for Sam. So if they wanted to go that direction with Stu, it would be very easy to bring him back in such a same fashion or similar fashion. Now, it would not be hard to imagine Billy saying something like, I did not do this alone. I had to have help, and maybe you need to have help too. And then all of a sudden we see Stu emerge next to Billy, and she begins then seeing both of them in her visions and hallucinations that she has. But that's not the only way Stu can return. Given what I mentioned earlier in this video about the fact that Stu is alive, and Wes Craven himself stated it as fact, Radio Silence, along with Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt, they have the absolute creative freedom to bring Stu back as a living character. Like Billy, we're pretty much, stuck with seeing him as an hallucination. There's just no way, because we know he is dead. But Stu is a whole different story, and my personal preference is to see Stu return as the mastermind pulling the strings behind the murders. He is my most favorite villain of the franchise, and seeing him back as his psychotic self would just be fantastic. Now, there was an article a couple of days ago that I did a video on from Screen Rant, where they mentioned how Stu may return to the franchise as a rehabilitated version of himself, and that he could have a redemption arc, which would result in him actually saving the day and stopping the murders. And while I do find this to be an intriguing idea, and I'm not opposed to doing that, I'm not, but at the same time, I personally really want to see him back as his classic murdering, crazy self that we've all come to know and love as Stu. Now, while there is some uncertainty about how Stu may return, one thing is for certain. This new poster represents yet another iron in the fire towards moving Stu's return from a possibility to a reality, and I am ready to see it happen. All right, everyone. I want to know what you have to think about Stu Macher and this Scream 6 poster created by Creepy Duck Art. I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts, and your theories. So start leaving your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. Well, that is it for this update, but I will be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.